Hi students, this is the second talk in this series, Swasti Pantha. I am very happy for one reason, very important. The purpose of starting this channel was to teach mathematics to the students who are interested, especially at the plus 2 level. Then I started thinking I should also share some of my experiences and knowledge uh, with the students so that it will help them. I have worked in this field for the last 35 years. I have seen the students who are successful. I have seen the students who are failure also. I know where students have gone wrong. And whenever I advise them, whenever they are wrong, many of them they correct it. And sometimes students need the guidance from the teacher. And definitely, I know this is my conviction. Students follow when they are convinced. So, with the hope of this, I am continuing. But there is another important thing. I uploaded this video last week, Sunday, about 2 3 days back. So within one day, almost 100 students, most probably students, viewed this video. So that shows the importance of this type of videos. Therefore, basically my purpose was to motivate the student. Now I have been motivated by you. So definitely I will continue this series. Today I am talking on a very special topic, that is the value of hard work and its secrets. The first part is of course simple. Second part I doubt whether I can do justice. Secrets. Anyway, let me try. See, imagine this situation. Morning 5 o'clock, alarm rings. Now there are two options before you. One is get up and chase your dreams. Work hard. This is the first option. Second option is switch off the alarm and go back to your bed and sleep. When I ask this question to my students, most of the students say, so theoretically speaking, first is my choice. That is, I want to wake up and get up from my bed and chase my dreams. But the reality is, I don't do that. I want to go back and sleep. This is the problem with all of us. See, when we face this type of situation, I'm reminded of a story. Once the disciple goes to the guru and asks, define who is fool. Uh, this is the very, very interesting. What is the definition of a fool? So the guru says it is very simple. A person is a fool if he does wrong things, knowing right things. This is the simple definition. When this definition is stated, I am reminded of an incident from Mahabharata. I'll tell you why. See, when I say uh, as a student you should do hard work, actually I need not tell because it is an open secret. Nobody need to tell that doing hard work is good for our future. The problem is how to do it. That is the problem. So let me come back to this Mahabharata story. You know, Duryodhana was very wicked and he wanted to kill Pandavas and he tried all his means, all unethical, to eliminate them. And through uh, different unethical means, he sent them to forest. Then after coming back also he was not ready to give them their share. So at this point, Bhagavan Shri Krishna goes to Duryodhana and advises him, look Duryodhana, this is not good, this is not dharma. Pandavas are your cousins and you should give their share. You have already done lot of wrong things and you have done injustice to them. But don't do this, don't continue. At the end, After listening to his discourse, Duryodhana says, "Look, Krishna, I know what is dharma and I know what is adharma. Don't teach me. Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi, janamyadharmam nachame nivrittihi." What he says is, I know what is dharma, but I don't want to follow. I know what is adharma, but I cannot resist from following it. That means I am forced to follow it. This is what he says. And funniest part of his statement is the next sentence. You see, kenapi devena hridistitena yatha niyuktosmi tatha karumi. What he says is, I am doing all these acts because of the God which is residing in me. Kenapi devena hridistitena. The God who is dwelling in my heart, whatever he dictates, I am doing. Whatever reason. See, the fun is this. The God is appearing before him in the form of human being. Lord Krishna is the incarnation of God. And he says, do this, don't do this. But Duryodhana says, I am doing this because of God. And this is the problem with all of us. Duryodhana is not outside, he is inside. See, whenever we are failure, we blame the God. Whenever we are successful, we take credit. So, in that sense, we are all fools. If you understand what is the value of work, therefore I have kept the heading value of hard work. And if you are able to do it, then probably we will be going in the right path. So that is the purpose of this talk. Now the question is this: nobody need to teach us the value of hard work. It is an open secret. So sometimes whenever I used to discuss this type of topic in class, some students used to say this, sir, we know what is the value of hard work. The problem is how to do it. So then the next question is, if you love your work, then definitely you can do it. Once again, the same question, how to love our work. If you love your work, definitely you will do it, whether it is difficult or easy. Let me clarify how to love our work. Edward de Bono is a great modern thinker who has written a lot of books, and his original idea, lateral thinking. There are many books. In one of the books which I read, he gives a very beautiful illustration. See, he says, no human activity is pleasurable or painful. That means you can derive happiness or pleasure, or you can be miserable by doing that activity, but the activity itself is not having that nature. That's what he wanted to say. Let me clarify this point. All of us have enjoyed riding a bicycle when we were young children. And even if the bicycle is not in good condition, old bicycle, even then we enjoyed it. And some of you might have enjoyed driving a car also. So here there are two activities. Riding a bicycle is an activity, sometimes which makes us happy. Driving a car, which is also an activity, it also makes us happy. Now look at this situation. After some time, you are riding a cycle and your friend is going in a car, the same road. What is your mental condition? What is your feeling? You think that, look at me, I am using an old bicycle and I am riding, whereas my friend is very lucky, he is driving a car. So now you see the same riding of bicycle which made you happy as a child, now it makes you unhappy. Now do you think that your friend is happy? No. What he may think is, look at my friend, he is riding a cycle, he is enjoying. Look at me, I have purchased this car, I have to pay EMI, road tax, insurance, this one, that one, so many problems. I have to fill the petrol, whereas my friend is riding the cycle without anything. So he is very happy, I am not happy. See the thing, riding bicycle may make you happy, riding bicycle may make you unhappy. Driving a car may make you happy or it may make you unhappy. Therefore, what Edward de Bono says is, No human activity itself can make you happy. It is you who should derive the happiness from the activity. If you are able to derive happiness, then you start loving the work. If you do not derive, you are not able to derive happiness from the activity, you cannot love, you start hating the work. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. This is a famous novel by Mark Twain, and I suggest every student should read this novel. Let me narrate one very interesting incident from this novel. Tom had lost his parents and he was brought up by his auntie. He was very mischievous. One day he played some mischief so that his auntie became very angry. So the next day was Sunday and he wanted to go as usual, going with his friends and playing. But his auntie gave him a punishment. The punishment is this: she gave him a tin full of paint and a brush, and his work is he should paint the entire fence around her house. This was the punishment. Reluctantly, Tom took this paint and brush and started painting. As usual, his friends started coming to him because he was the leader. So the first boy who came, he asks Tom, "Hey Tom, what are you doing? Shall we go and play?" Then Tom says, he's very smart. No, 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 today I cannot come because I have an urgent work here. I have to paint this entire fence. So the Tom was actually painting and this boy was standing and looking at him. This boy started thinking there must be something very funny in painting. So he asks Tom, "Hey Tom, you give me the brush, I will paint." Then Tom says, "No, no, no, you cannot do it. See, I am enjoying. Can't you say I am enjoying doing this one?" So he pretends actually. After some time, one more boy comes like that. So many of his friends came and everybody started pestering him, requesting him to give an opportunity to paint. He was very smart. He says, "If you give me something in return, I will give an opportunity, this opportunity of painting." So every boy came there. They gave him something like chocolate or pencil or pen something, and in return he gave the opportunity of painting. Now look at this. So what happened? Within a few hours, the entire fencing was painted. At this point, the author says a very beautiful. See, yeah, there is a very beautiful philosophy behind this incident. When a game is forcibly played, it becomes a work. When a work is willingly done, it becomes a game. So there is no difference between game and work. Or to put it in a simple way, when a work is done willingly, it becomes a pleasurable activity. When a work is done forcibly, it becomes a punishment. And this is very true in case of study also. If you enjoy learning mathematics, if you enjoy solving the problems of mathematics, studying mathematics becomes a game. If you think that studying mathematics, solving problems is a most unwanted activity, then it becomes a punishment. Therefore, the secret is one should know how to love the work. The moment you are able to love your activity, you are motivated to do it. Now the question comes, I know that when I love my work, I will definitely do it. But how to love? So this is the problem. How to like my activity? So let me clarify this point. See, many of us enjoy drinking coffee. And as a child, we have not developed this habit. Probably after some time, we have acquired this habit. You take coffee seed, crush it into powder, and taste it. It is very bitter. And what we do is we mix chicory to coffee powder and make it more tasty. Then in addition to that, we boil and prepare the decoction. Then we add sugar. Then we add milk and make it tasty. Then we take it. And then we are addicted. Now we think that drinking coffee is the most pleasurable part of our life. So meaning in any human activity, we can take interest, we can like or dislike. So one thing is naturally inclined. Say some of the activities naturally we like. For example, some people like music because of the environment in which they are brought up. But sometimes they acquire it. Most of the activities, habit, likes and dislikes, these are all acquired. Therefore, what is very important is whether you, if you want to work hard, because you know that working hard is necessary for success. First thing is that we have to love our work. Second one is how to love. If you like the work, definitely we love it. But how to like? So this is the next question. So normally my students ask this, sir, I know what is the importance of hard work. Nobody need to teach me. Sometimes I am motivated because of this type of advice, and I start getting up early in the morning. But this motivation will be there only for 2 or 3 days. The third day, as usual, I will be getting up very late. So this is the problem. So every day nobody can motivate any person to work. It should be internal. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna gives a very simple technique of how you can get motivated and how you can be hardworking. Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhyah param manah manasastu para buddhi ye buddhi parasastu saha. This part is not necessary for us. Let me just stick on to three statements of Lord. The first one is indriyani paranyahu, meaning indriyas means actually we have 5 jnanendriya and 5 karmendriya, and they are very superior in human beings. See the nature among all the creatures on this earth. Man is the most powerful human living being because he has got very advanced faculty of organs, sense organs, then organ of action. In Sanskrit, we call it as Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. What Lord says is, man is superior because he has got very superior Jnanendriya and very superior and advanced Karmendriya. So these are the two things. They are very superior, therefore we are superior. But he says, warns us, Indriyani paranyahu indriyebhyah param manah. But more superior to Indriyas is manas. So according to Indian psychology, our mind is consisting of different faculties. So they are called Antakarana, Manas, Mana and Buddhi. Mana means actually it is the ability to feel, but Buddhi means it is the power of discrimination. What Lord says is, if you want to be a good human being, if you want to control your senses, these should things happen. First, the mind should dictate indriyas, and intellect, buddhi should dictate mind, mana. But what happens in our case is, mind is controlled by indriyas, jnanendriya and karmendriya, and buddhi is absent. We are not using it. The faculty or ability to discriminate what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad, that ability of our mind is called buddhi. So the proper way of control is this: all our sense organs and the organ of action should be controlled by mind, and the mind should be controlled by intellect, buddhi. But look at our situation. What happens is, uh, mind is under the control of senses and buddhi is absent. So what happens is, I know that doing hard work is good, but my senses are not under my control. Organs of action and organs of sense, they are not under my control. Mind goes beyond them. So we become lazy. So we sometimes indulge in unwanted activities. So this is the problem with us. Therefore, what is important is we should know how to control our mind, how to control our sense organs, how to control our organ of actions. If we can do this one, definitely it is possible to start liking what we do. The next question arises still, what is the use of hard work? What is the effect? So let me give a few examples so that it will clarify my point. Beethoven was a great composer, musician, German musician. He was also pianist. If you love Western music, definitely you know his name. And the later part of his life, he became deaf actually. Still, he started loving music and he contributed even after becoming deaf. So that is the secret of loving the work. Once a young man comes to him and asks, what is the secret of your success? That is, what is the secret of mastery over piano? I want to know that. Beethoven says this. It's very simple, there is no secret. What you have to do is, daily you practice piano for 14 or 15 hours and do it regularly for about a few years. You will become one more Beethoven. This is the secret of success. Very simple but very difficult. Let me give one more example. You might have heard Panini, who is the grammarian, great grammarian, who has written a book, ultimate book on grammar in Sanskrit, Ashtadhyayi. There is a very interesting story about him. Whether it is true or not, it is immaterial. So Panini was a young boy and he wanted to go to Gurukul for study. His parents took him to an astrologer, and the astrologer, after looking at his palm, say this boy has no Vidya Rekhe. Vidya Rekhe means it's a line of Vidya, learning. So that is not there, found there in his palm. Therefore, the astrologer says this boy has no future in education, so don't send him to Gurukul. He can't pass. So the parents were disappointed. So they came back. Panini was a very innocent boy. He did not understand what is that Vidya Rekhe. So he asks his mother, Amma, what do you mean by Vidya Rekhe? Mother says, look here, there is one line here, should be on line. That line is called Vidya Rekhe. It should be there. If that is there, then only you will be a good student. Otherwise, you cannot study. So this is the problem. Panini did not understand all those things. He was a very young boy. So he goes to kitchen and takes a knife and puts it in fire and prepares one Vidya Rekhe on his palm. See, this story has a message. When opportunity is not there, create one. Let us continue the story. So in the morning when mother sees this his hand, she was shocked, but it was a happy shock. So then parents decide, okay, this boy is very much motivated, very much interested to learn. So they took him to Gurukul and they narrated all these incidents before the Kulapati, head of the institution. Then the teacher was very much happy, so he was admitted. Panini was admitted. After the first test, let us say first unit test, Panini fails. Then Panini, as per the institution rules, Gurukul rules, Panini comes back. So he was very unhappy, very sad. So he was sitting. There was a public well from where the people used to draw water. So he, near the well, he sits and starts crying. So an aged lady comes to the well to draw the water. She knew him, therefore she asked, "What Panini? Why are you sitting here? You have gone to Gurukul. Why did you come back?" All those things. Then he says, "I went to Gurukul with lot of interest to study, but unfortunately in the first test only I failed and my teacher sent me back. So I have come back. So I am most unfortunate." So then the lady takes him to the well and shows, see, if you are from village side, nowadays even it is very difficult to see a well in cities, but imagine the well has a platform actually made up of stone, and people who are drawing the water, they were keeping the pot on the slab which is made up of stone. Now the lady takes him there and says, "Look here, this is the stone slab on which this earthen pot is kept. This well is very, very old. I don't know how old it is. People are coming here every day and drawing the water using the earthen pot and keeping that pot on this slab. Under normal circumstances, what happens is when an earthen pot hits a stone, it is the pot which breaks, not the stone. But here, what has happened is over a period of time, lot of people are coming and drawing the water and keeping the pot on the stone slab. As a result of which, there was a dent, depression on the stone. This is quite opposite. So then, pointing towards that stone, the lady says, "Look, my boy, stone is very hard, whereas earthen pot is very soft. But here, what has happened is because the earthen pot is constantly hitting the stone, it is the stone which has changed its shape. So there is a dent. Here is a message for you. Seemingly very difficult task can be achieved if you are able to do it, if you are taking it as a challenge. So go to Gurukul, request your teacher, take the admission once again, study hard, definitely you will be successful." So he was very much motivated. Once again goes back and requests the teacher. So once again he is taken admission, etc., etc. Then after some year he completes the his education, and then in the end, that the graduation day, so he comes out with an ordinary degree actually. His grade was not good. And his classmates, according to the story, Vararuchi and Vagbhata, they are the other two brilliant students. They make fun of him. "Look, Panini, you once in the first test only you failed, and once again you took admission. But what is the use? After all, after completion of these years, you are just going with an ordinary degree. Look at us, see our marks." So then Panini says, "Today my education is not over. Today my education is not over. I will continue to study Sanskrit further, and one day I will write a book. At the best, you can write commentary on that. And the result is Panini's Ashtadhyayi." So the message of the story is that effect of hard work, as long as you take an oath that I will continue to work hard, no matter whatever is the time limit, success is guaranteed. Therefore, with this, let me conclude. Of course, I have not completed the entire concept hard work and its secrets. This is the first part. Hope you like this view, and hope also that this message which I have shared with you will help you to become a better worker and a good student. Let us meet in the next session with the same topic, hard work and its secrets, with some more ideas. Till then, bye.